years now. I've been to a few of these, and this was probably my favorite. Because it's been about me. And I got gifts, and when you're talking about me, my attention span just So no, I really appreciate this. I appreciate you all coming down. And it's not that far, it's only a few floors, but I appreciate it. And the gift. And I have to tell you that I've always felt appreciated here from day one. In fact, there's times when I felt overappreciated here. And so thank you very much for that. I am excited to go to this new spot, the judiciary. 8 years is a long time, and I feel like it's time for me to move on to something different, time to get different blood in here, or the communications operations. And I've had too much cake. I've eaten too much cake. When I started here, I was skinny. It's just like cake every week. And Ted walking around, baklava, pretzels, and of course I have stains on my So, in fact, when I went for my interview with the judiciary, they asked me a bunch of questions, and they said, do you have anything you want to ask us? And I said, how do you feel about cake in the workplace? And they said, well, what are you talking about? I said, perfect. But seriously, I couldn't be prouder of the work that we've done and the part that I've played. I think you're all maybe overstating it a little bit, but I appreciate that. But I do. I got great work from everybody to try to promote and publicize, and so I'm very grateful for that. And I think that continues. But I want to thank a couple of people. Start with Phil. It's not personal. I know I was here 8 years, 3 weeks. It's not personal. Sure. I say that because I can tell. One thing I learned about Phil real quickly is he has a great sense of humor. And I have enjoyed talking to you the last couple of weeks. And I'm excited about what you're about to do for the office. I really am. I think, I'm happy you're here, and I think everybody in this room is happy that you're here. And, I'm not going to be far, so I'm going to be watching what you're doing, and I wish you the best of luck.
Thank you.
Who's next? I want to thank, I appreciate all 4 divisions, but I want to mention one division in particular because I've been a division of 1 pretty much for the last 8 years. We had a year where I had Juliet. And Pat Moran would always say to me, how's things going in your division? How are And I'd say, all right, a lot of infighting. Not quite organized, but we're trying to get it together. But you guys always treated me kind of like an honorary member, and I appreciate that. Inviting me to, just the lunch yesterday, which, by the way, I'm leaving to go to another job, but Larry Costello is retiring after 40 years, so if everybody ready to give him a hand.
Yeah.
So to all of you guys in the investigations division and all 4 divisions, I really appreciate that. The support that I've got from you guys, and appreciate working with you guys. Jim Donnelly actually listens to my Little League stories. Single you out for that, which everybody has to listen to stories about my kids, but Jim's the only one to actually even tell Little League stories too. And Pat, when you're somewhere for 8 years, you go through. Sorry, I knew should not bring you up, Pat. Where is he at?
He's in the back hiding.
Oh, there he is. All right. You're somewhere long enough, you go through good times, bad times. Sorry, guys. All right, and so I felt like anytime I hit a rough spot, Pat was there. Just a great person. So, thank you. clap so I can come. Let me move to a story so I can get back to jokes. Sorry about that. I do have this. You didn't have my story. It was actually something different. I forgot that, and now I feel really bad that I told you that, John.
Good, I hope you feel bad.
You know,
This is a day for you to feel bad.
yeah. So, Melissa talked about not always agreeing, and we had different philosophies, and we did. And I have to say that actually is one of my favorite parts of the job, for real, because I thought we always respected each other's opinion, and we came from a little bit of a different place, but, and I've told this before, we always had the office's best interests at heart. And so I don't even look at that as, I look at that as one of the things I enjoyed the most, to be honest. But I'll tell you about one time where we disagreed about something with John. And Matt and I decided to play a practical joke on John Hoffman.
Oh. That was literally the worst decision I've made.
So, what happened was, he just started at Attorney General's office, and he put out a release, and he talked about having been involved in dozens of reports, which could have been, it was just accurate, but you could have also charged that he wasn't directly involved with all of them. So we decided we were gonna mess with him. And we sent him, I called him, and I left him a message and said, listen, Chris Baxter from the Star Ledger called, is asking for a copy of all the reports that you worked on. I don't know if we can do this, like if we can give him all of these reports. So John, being honest guy, and most honest guy in Trenton, goes and tells his communications director that he has a problem and they may have to change the press release. Now, back up a little bit, there's discussion about this, and Melissa is saying, you cannot do this. Do not do this. And we're saying, oh, it's just a joke.
Did he say it was the biggest mistake he's made?
That's it, which is why Matt always agreed with Melissa. So, then Matt had to call John and explain to him that it was a practical joke, and I kind of enjoyed watching it. Especially after some of the jokes he just threw at me. Now I have to enjoy it. But, it is a good example of Melissa having been right. But it also depends on how you look at it, because at the time she was correct. But if you're coming from the place of, I want to have a good story to tell later at the bar, then I was right. So depends how you look at it. But Melissa, just like Pat, like when I've been, good times and bad times, you have always been like family to me in those times particularly. And I can't tell you how much I appreciate that. We did start out, the four of us, and we've come a long way as an office. If you think about how things were when we started, so I will always remember that, and I will appreciate the working relationship we had. But the friendship we have, and friendship I have with Matt and with you, John, with all of you here, that continues. So thank you for that. Matt, I was going to be nice to you. I'm glad you went first. No, for those of you who don't know, Matt used to work here. Those of you who know me know already how I feel about Matt. And I said most of those things when you left, so I don't need to say them again. But I do remember one thing that you said when we had the big gathering for you when you were leaving, and it stuck with me. And you said there was going to be a piece of you in the walls of this place. And when you said it caught me. And then about a week ago, I was thinking about that. So I'm getting ready to move on myself. And I'm walking down the hallway, and I see a picture of you out of the corner of my eye. But, oh my God, he is in the walls. Yeah, put a giant. Have you seen it yet?
He hasn't seen
You're gonna want to go up. It's the first thing you see before you get to all of the headlines. And
Phil, is that why you said you think I'm so focused on myself? I hung that up.
My understanding is you designed it.
it's if you do you remember Scooby Doo? Do you remember the paintings of the dead relatives and the eyes would move? So everyone there now thinks you're watching that run. But seriously, I can't tell enough people that I was proud to work for Matt Boxer. And I know you know that, and I know everybody in this room knows that. And I'll always be proud of the work that we did together. I think all of us. And it's been a lot of fun. When I left the newspaper industry, that was something that I had been doing since high school. So it was it's tough for me to leave that, and then to come over and be immediately. And I saw so many people who left that were sort of felt disenfranchised and felt like they were too involved with politics and that kind of thing, who had switched over to government. And to be able to go to a place where I was proud to work, it was just a blessing. It was a blessing. I'll tell you that I was here like 3 weeks and already I hated the media too. But I think I'll just wrap by saying that I'm not going to be far. We'll be right down the road, and I want to thank all of you for the great work and for your friendship, and I guess it's time for more cake.